Hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, and we'll maybe start on it. Okay, we'll start on, right? Or we can wait for a few minutes.
No, no, you can start now. Already we are late. You can start.
Yeah, yeah.
Others will be joining me.
Okay, then yeah. Okay, so yeah, we have seen in previous class what is database and what is data warehouse, and like ETL process involved in data warehouse. And we have seen the needs of data warehouse and applications of data warehouse. If you have any queries, you may ask. Otherwise, refer to the recording sessions which is shared in the group. Okay, so we'll continue with the today's class. So we'll continue like what is the differences between DBMS and data warehouse. So in short, like DBMS is like day-to-day transaction. It is like transaction oriented. So let's suppose we'll take the banking example. In banking example, we'll do lots of transactions. We have lots of sessions there. We'll have loan sections. We have like in loan sections, we have lots of like we can like a repayment. So if you open the like bank web page, you can log in and you can see lots of options available there. So everything, like whatever transactions we are doing, not only in a banking domain, you could take any domain, whatever transactions we are doing in real time, so that data we could see in DBMS. The DBMS, it will store the data. It's specifically not to be in a very long time. It's like very recent data we could see in DBMS. But in terms of data warehouse, we can store in data warehouse. We know it's mainly for the storing, and we can analyze the data warehouse data, and even we can use it for the reporting purpose. So to report or to analyze the data, we should we should have the old data as well. Right. So in general, data warehouse, it will store both current data and history data. Okay, so this is the main differences between DBMS and data warehouse. DBMS, it will contain only recent data, and it will contain transaction oriented data. But in terms of data warehouse, like we have like it is you we have both history and current data, and it is used for the reporting purpose. Not only reporting, we can do the analyze by having the reporting, and even we can use it for the storage purpose. And then in DBMS, it is like single source. But in terms of data warehouse, it's like it will capture and analyze the data from multiple sources. So let's suppose I will be working for one project, and I will be extracting the data from the one of the source called SFG. Like that data, it will goes, I will do the transformations, I will do the transformations in staging area, and finally it will load it to the final stage, it will load it to the data warehouse. So other persons, let's suppose take you, and if like we have like you will be working for a project, and your source is like API, you will be extracting the data from the different team, but finally you could load the data to the same data warehouse. So it is used for the like in data warehouse, you will be storing and like capturing the data from multiple sources, but in DBMS we'll be focusing on the like capturing the data from the single source. We are not combining the multiple data in the DBMS. And we know it's not used for the reporting. DBMS, like current data or transactions oriented data, it's not used for the reporting, but in the data warehouse, it's completely for the reporting purpose. Yeah, any queries here? We'll stop here.
No.
Yeah, just stop if you have any queries. Okay. So yeah, so previous class we have covered the data warehouse, and now we have seen the differences between DBMS and data warehouse. Okay, so yeah, in terms of if you are preparing for the ETL testing interview, this could be an important question of what they will ask, what is data warehouse, and sometimes they will ask differences between TBMS and data warehouse. Okay, so yeah, coming back to the next topic, OLTP and OLAP, and we'll see what is the differences between OLTP and OLAP. So this is another important interview questions. They will ask what is OLTP, OLAP. We'll share the interview questions at the end. That like that interview document we have this OLTP, OLAP questions and all. So let's see what is OLTP. So OLTP is like online transaction processing, but like in terms of OLAP is like online analytical processing. So we have seen just before we have seen the differences between DBMS and data warehouse. That same applies here. OLTP is nothing but database. Okay, OLAP is nothing but data warehouse. So you can say it's like similarly what actions done by the database. It's same as OL. We could say that as an OLTP, and we have seen the data warehouse that everything will be applicable to OLAP. So it's completely transaction oriented. So online transaction processing captures, stores, and process the data from transaction in real time. That is nothing but a database. Like, and OLAP admires the day-to-day transactions of the organization. So if you take like if we take Flipkart, so or if you take any other application, so we just giving the input. If you search like you have search for a particular product, and that particular product you have like you have given like we have bought that product, so that is kind of data. Let's suppose this person ID, we have searched for the product, and that person has been confirmed that product, and this all these details will be considered called as an online transaction processing. That will be stored in database, right? That particular data will be stored in database. That is called as an OLTP. Coming back to OLAP, so this online analytical processing uses complex query to analyze aggregated historical data from OLTP system. So whatever actions we do right now, that is the transaction processing, OLTP, that will be input for the OLAP. So like without OLTP data, we can't use the OLAP. So OLAP, it's completely used for the like we can write the complex queries to analyze the data. That's what. Let's suppose I have purchased the product today. If I maybe in 2023 I have bought this particular date, this particular month I have bought this. If I want, like if I will be in a 2013, I want to be know how much purchase has been done in 2023, and especially the last quarter. Okay, or else I want to be see what is the business has been done New Year to like December, like Christmas to New Year, this particular season, how much like how much like percentage of profit we have got, like how I can serve this everything will be stored, this data, all the data will be stored in OLAP. So using that data, if I like if the business want to create the reports by using that data, why they want to be create, we need to know whether our business is going smooth or it is making any losses. All these calculations business people will think of, right? So for that we need an like who has given this access. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, OLAP, OLTP, all the data will be moves to the, like we do the transformations, and that data will be stored, like only proper formatted data will be loaded to the OLAP, that is nothing but data warehouse. Okay, so this is the important differences between OLTP and OLAP. Okay, so whatever we have seen in database, all this, see, all this will be applicable to OLTP, and data warehouse will be all this will be applicable to OLAP. Okay, so all this thing like it specializes and manage transaction-oriented applications. That's everything. It's same. So OLTP enables large number of database transaction made by large number of people over the internet. So we know, like using internet, like large number of peoples will do the lots of transactions. That everything will be stored in the OLTP, which is nothing but database. So in database transaction, we could change or insert or delete or query a data in the database. But in terms of data warehouse, we can't delete or we can't change any data if it goes like before going to data warehouse. We can do that. That's what we are just doing. The transformations will apply the business logics there. But in once it is gone to the data warehouse, we can't like modify the data. Okay, so OLTP systems derives many of the financial transaction made every day, including online transaction, ATM transactions, e-commerce, and in-store purchase. Right. So yeah. So if we take the real-time example, just stop me, okay, if you have any queries. Yeah, if we take the real-time example, so we'll take, let's suppose we'll introduce like a branded T-shirt in the market. Okay, I just give to the like we are just sold given the announcement, and we are just giving the like we're just selling our product. Let's take a particular T-shirt. We'll take a red color T-shirt. Okay, that is some branded T-shirt. Will start sale on the Amazon. Okay, so like that is in a branded t-shirts. People once see that advertisement, they could start buy that product. If they are very keen on the product, they will start purchase on the product. So this is considered as an OLTP. So if someone is like want to be bought like buy that product, all this data, this particular region, this particular like state and region, like people are showing more interest on their product. Okay, so like all these calculations will do. So this transaction, if I like whenever could see that, I will go and I will buy that product. Okay, so this is considered as an OLTP. Once I have done that, like let's suppose all this data has been stored, right? So in the like after some days, if I want to be see this particular date, when I introduce this red color t-shirt, branded t-shirt in the market, like how soon it has been sold out, like which region it has been like people has shown interest. And like, I will do this calculation. How I will do this calculation? If I doing this calculations will be considered as OLA. Okay, so we can do this calculations. We can like if it is not like that this particular region, this is like people's will not showing the interest. All these calculations will do after OLTP. Like once this particular region is how I know, like I will query this particular so let's start from this if it is like particular table name, at that table name where this region and this quarter, because data warehouse we have all the data, right? Will storing the all the history data will be available in the data warehouse. So I will put this particular date and I will search on. Okay, or if we like using Power BI or Tableau tool, we'll create the reports and there as well we'll compare it. Okay, by region wise you can compare it, by year wise you can compare it. So we'll do the like we'll create the reports according to the business, according to the transformation logic mentioned in the requirement. Okay, so this is one of the examples of like OLTP and OLAP. Yeah, any queries here?
Yeah, first we need to transfer a data to the database, and after that, if we have to do the calculation, or we have to analyze the profit or the loss related to any product.
Hmm.
So we have to transfer that data from OLTP to OLAP, and then we have to analyze, right?
You will be asking for this particular ETL testing or in general?
No, no, in general, the concept
Yes,
is
in
like that.
general,
Like,
whatever you have said, it's correct. We'll have
okay,
the data. Yeah, we'll have the data. See, all the data will not store. Let's suppose if we take the banking domain, loan people will maintain the data, their separate team. So let's suppose some normal account will use normal account, will use demat account, will use joint account. So this for everything will be storing the data separately. Let's suppose like we'll use the demat account, that data, all whatever actions we are doing for that particular account, I will be maintaining that data will be in a separate. Let's suppose I will be storing it in Oracle database. We know lots of database available in the market. I will be stored the data in Oracle. Because Oracle, I will feel like Oracle will store huge amount of data. And like if I want to be like maintain saving accounts details to be in a separate, like this particular person, whatever actions will done by that particular person, that data will be storing it in a SQL server. So the thing is, like we need to be extract the data from these teams. What should be our source, that everything will be mentioned in the requirement. Okay, so from the team we should extract the data. We should apply the transformation logic. If it is an ETL developer, they will they will develop the code. They will use the informatica to write the queries to transform the data. They will write a code. So as a tester, we need to be validate. We should write the queries and validate whether it is working as per the mapping logic or not, or business logic or not. And then finally it will load to the data warehouse. So from in the data warehouse, we are keeping like we can use it for the reporting purpose. Okay, the transformation logic itself,
okay,
unwanted data, raw data, everything will be cleaned up.
okay. So we have to like apply the logic on a database, right? And once it is correct, we have to pull that data in a data warehouse, and the other team will do the
Hmm,
analysis for that,
correct.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
We
okay.
have
Yeah,
Power BI developer, we have ClickSense developer. That team, that is a separate team. They will like using the tools, they will create the reportings.
okay. Actually, I'm working as a ETL tester, and in
Hmm,
our I'm working in a investment banking domain,
hmm,
and into that we are using the Snowflake tool
hmm,
for the testing purpose. So
hmm,
into that we have to use some database as well as data warehouse, and the schemas are there. So
hmm,
my
hmm.
question is, like, we are doing a testing there, but whether like we are doing a testing on a database or on a data warehouse, I'm
No,
confused on that.
the database you should be doing.
Okay,
If you
okay,
are
yeah.
applying in data warehouse, that is different process. Maybe you will follow ELT process there.
Mhm. Okay, okay, got
You
it.
should be
Yeah.
make sure that, yeah, whether your project is using ETL process or ELT process. ELT will come back, will have that syllabus as well. Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, next topic will be any differences between OLTP and OLAP. So we know OLTP handles only recent data, which is like our day-to-day transactions data, like that is in a considered as in a recent, and OLAP will handles all history data. So once I collected the OLTP or transaction data, everything will be stored very less, maybe in a 7 days, or maybe in a 7 to 14 days, week or 2 weeks. That's it. After that, it will go on to the OLAP process. So in OLAP, you can see it handles all the data. That's what data warehouse is very, very, very huge, because it like the size, if you could see, 1 TB to 100 PB. But in terms of OLAP, which is database, the size is smaller and typically ranging from 100 MB to 10 GB. But in terms of OLAP, size is larger, will typically ranging from 1 TB to 100 PB. And goal is to perform day-to-day operation. But here in OLAP, we have the goal is to make the decision from the large data source, and we'll use the simple queries in OLTP, and we'll use huge complex queries in OLAP. Why? That's what if we like you can in OLTP, it's like database, right? You can use very simple queries like update query, deletion query, or if you want to search any recent data, we'll write the query, select query to fetch the data. But in terms of OLAP, if you want to be see that's like I want to be see 2015 data, and don't want to see entire country's data. I want to be see this particular state, and in this particular state I don't want to see all the days. I want to be see only first quarter result. So just think on how to write the query for this scenario. I need to be like I want to be search this particular state. Then you will doing one filter on that, and you will be doing once you got the answer. You need to be will get some result. So we'll get all the days result. I in that I don't want to see all the result. I want to see only this particular quarter result. In that particular quarter result, I don't want to see all the age group people. I want to be see only 19 to 25. This age group peoples, I want to be see the result. So this particular product, this particular age group people has been shown interest on that, whether they have purchased or what is the percentage, what age group peoples will be have shown more interest on that particular product. It could be any product. Okay, this calculations how I will do, I like if you do, if we should write the complex queries, we'll write the queries, or we even we can use it for reporting as well. We sometimes will write the queries to analyze the data. Okay, so here we'll use the simple queries in OLTP, and we'll use complex queries in OLAP. And speed wise, OLTP has faster speed compared to OLAP. Why? If you like just consider if we buy in a new mobile. Okay, in the new mobile, we'll consider 256 GB mobile I have bought. In this 256 GB in the initial days, it could be run very fast. But days gone, I will be just loading more photos and videos and large huge files. Okay, so what will happen? I will use almost 254 GB. I have used it for I have been I have stored some data that cover 256 GB. Oh, sorry, 254 GB. So there you can find the slowness. Why? If the data is less, the speed will be fast. But if the data is huge, the speed it will take the slowness. We can see the slowness. Okay, if you're searching for any particular product, if it is GB, like if the data is very less, I will easily find out. But if it is almost we have used all the we have used all the GBs, or all the data, then if I search for then a particular product, I will feel the slowness. So in OLTP, we do the day-to-day transaction. So it's like processing speed will be in a very fast. But in terms of OLEP, we'll store all the data. We'll store the history data. We'll store the current data. So processing speed will be very, very slow in OLAP. Okay, and in OLTP, we'll do the read write operation, but in OLAP, we'll do only the read operation. So I have told you in transaction process in database, you can do insert operation, delete operation, or update operations. So that's what, right? Read write operation. If we able to modify,
Yes.
if we able to modify the data, then it's considered as a write operation. Or if you only no, you are not able to modify anything, so we can use it only for the read only, then we'll consider this that as an OLAP. In OLAP, as we know, in data warehouse, once the data has been gone in to data warehouse, we'll only query the data, but we can't modify the data. Okay, so requires only read operation there. So yeah, this is the few differences between OLTP and OLAP. Yeah, any queries here? Any queries in OLTP and OLAP?
No, it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, next topic will be an ODS. So ODS, operational data store. ODS usually stores and process the data in real time. So it's same like data warehouse, okay? But like data, like in term, I will be extracting the data from the different team. Let's suppose Oracle team or SAP team or AMS, a different team, okay? And I will be doing the transformations. Before loading the data to data warehouse, I want to store the data in ODS. I want to store why? For the temporary purpose. I will be we can't store this ODS to a very long time. Let's suppose this particular quarter, the business want to keep the data for some days. After that, they want to be remove that data. But in data warehouse, we can't do that. We can't remove it, right? Once it is gone, that's what we only do the read operation there. We can't delete it. So like for some period, we need to be keep the data, so then we'll use the ODS to keep the data there. Okay. So it's like ODS is connected to multiple data sources and pulls the data into central location. Okay, so once like whatever operations like actions I want to be do it, will do it, and after that like that data, it can be go to data warehouse and it will go to the data mart. That is different, but like not all the companies will use this ODS. It's completely and purely depends upon the business want to keep an this ODS, they will keep, or else we'll directly load the data to a data warehouse, and that will be go to data mart if it is required. So we'll come to the data mart. Yeah, ODS like will store the data, depends upon the like project, depends upon the clients if they want to be store this data, like if they want to be store the data for some particular period without going like before going to the data warehouse, we'll use ODS to, it's kind of repository, okay? So there we can temporarily storing the data. Once purpose is done, we'll delete it or we'll just remove this ODS. Okay, so whatever action, so here in transformations, we'll do all the like we'll apply all the transformation logics, will convert raw data into some particular proper format, and that will be stored in ODS, and then it will used for the, even you can move this ODS data to data warehouse, or you can use it for the other applications. Even you can create the reports by keeping the ODS data. Okay, or if we want to be do other access, we'll do that. But it's very less used. Like even I didn't face this ODS in real time. So it's purely depends upon the requirement. If they want to be store the data and temporarily before moving to the data, before moving the data to data warehouse.
Okay, like we are first we pull our data to database, and after that database we pull our data to data warehouse.
Hmm.
So like in between DB and DW there is a ODS, and which
Hmm.
is not mandatory.
Hmm.
We have to take it as per requirement.
Hmm.
Right?
Correct.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah. This is very short topic. And next topic will be in a data mart. So good to go, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So next will be in a data mart. So data mart, we know it's a subset of data warehouse focused on a single subject area. So in data warehouse, we know all the data will be stored, will goes to the data warehouse. And that, let's suppose I want to be searched. I will take some example. So we are extracting the data from the source stream. We'll do the transformation. We'll moving the data to data warehouse, and we can create different data mart. So this is will perform the transformation. While loading this data to data warehouse. Okay, so we know, we like from the source team, we are extracting the data, and after that, that has been moved to the transformations. So, here we'll like apply the staging. Like if we want to be stored in like different database, that considered as a staging. It's purely depends upon the requirement how they want to move the data. Sometimes it's directly sourced to target, like in between in target you will perform the transformation logic or will apply the staging area. Just nothing but from the data will we are extracting from the source team, that has been moved to the landing. So after the landing, we will move this to a sanitize. So landing sanitize, this is nothing but will be considered as a database. Like sometimes business want to see, our intention was we need to be convert the raw data to some proper format. So we'll apply the transformation logic to ignore the unwanted data. Sometimes clients want to store this raw data in one database, which is considered as a landing, and we need to be apply the transformation logic on sanitize, and that will be moved to the data warehouse. So this two will be considered, this will be considered as a staging area. So depends upon the requirement. Not all the time we'll use this landing, sanitize and all. Okay, so in the like in your project, you need to be check what is your ETL flow. What is your ETL flow, where the data is flowing, like whether we are having any staging. So, or you should understand project flow. We'll see the real-time project at the end, where we'll explain what need to be considered if you have if you are starting in a new project. Okay, so coming back to the data mart, let's suppose I will be will be maintaining all the data, like employee data. So if I take an employee, company data, I will be taking an organization data. If I take the organization data, we'll have the HR. So we'll have the HR team's data. And we have, let's take a development team. So their their data, their phone number, their name, their ID, their address. So, like a department from which department they are and which sub department they are. So all this data will be storing, like manager detail. All this will be moved to the data warehouse. So in data warehouse, we could see all the data. So like HR, if I take any organization, HR data I can see, and manager, senior manager, like senior manager and employee, like development testing team, senior manager, and who's that employee, like development team, testing team. So we know data warehouse, this is the data warehouse, right? So once we perform the transformations, that will be moved to the data warehouse. So in the data warehouse, we could see all the organization information in one place. That is that is the data warehouse, right? It's huge. We store, like your data warehouse used for the storing purpose and reporting purpose, and so on. So, like, let's suppose I want to see HR details alone. I can hear, I can query, and I can see the data. But if we can keep it HR detail to be in a separate, manager details to be in a separate, senior manager to be in a separate, and then employee, like development team, testing team to be in a separate. Okay, so what I'm doing, so instead of dumping the data in one place, I will be dumping the data, different sources data to be in a different data mart. So each consider as a data mart. HR is one data mart. Manager is one of the data mart. Okay, so senior manager is another data mart. In one data warehouse, we are creating multiple data marts. Sorry, my diagram is very bad, but yeah, if you're not able to understand,
Yeah.
let me know.
No, no, it's okay. Yeah, my question is here. First, we have to upload a source file, right? which having a different data. That is, suppose if we have to do the testing on HR details, so we have to upload a HR file, right? So similarly, all the data is transformed to the data warehouse. But in a data warehouse, all the data is in one place, right? HR, testing, development, overall data is on a one place. But after that DW, we have to again transfer that data to DMART in a separation. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So like source and what is that? Data mart both are same, right?
Yeah, so like in between you will apply the transformation. That's what some peoples will keep the data warehouse, or they will directly, instead of going to data warehouse and then we are splitting to data mart, if they want to be keep this data directly to be data mart, some transformations you apply the like we extract the data and we apply the transformations, and directly sometimes directly will load it to the data mart. Okay, without moving to data warehouse to data mart, we are just transforming the data directly to data mart. So purely depends upon the requirement. Let's suppose if you want, I will open one of the project flow. So the thing is, that's what we need to be understand the project flow. See, maybe it could be in a very minute. See, this is one of the project flow. So the project flow will be looks like this. So like here we have the source, that here we have lots of staging areas. This you can avoid, skip it. And after that, we are moving to the target. If you see here, there will be mentioned data mart. So that's why we'll see this diagram in hands-on time. So yeah, depends upon the purely depends upon the project flow, or whether they want to be move with the data to data mart, like we'll move that. Like will accordingly development team will give the connections, corresponding connections, so that it will go to the directly to the data mart.
ओके। लाइक मेरा एक प्रोजेक्ट का ये था, कुछ पॉइंट था, तो लाइक आप वो ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं क्या? मुझे वो कंसेप्ट समझ में आ गए हैं, बट एग्जैक्टली उसका पर्पस क्या है वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, तो वो आप
That's
सिर्फ
very
मुझे बता
difficult.
सकते हो क्या?
It's
लाइक
actually it's very difficult. Once you like you have worked in for 2 to 3 project, then you will understand that project flow. But initial days, it might be in a confused. But the thing is, like it will take time. It will take time to understand the complete flow. I
यस
totally
यस,
agree. Hmm.
can you write the diagram? Like I will tell you what is the flow, you just tell me what is the purpose of that, not in detail.
Tell me.
Yeah, first we have a source file. Okay, in
Hmm.
our project we have one source file which have the data.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and then after that we have to verify that the same data which is mentioned in a source file, as it is loaded in a raw
Hmm.
table. Okay,
Hmm.
and then we have to apply that data, extract that data in a trans table are there. And
Hmm.
then there is some transformation logic, like in a trans table if there are error, then that records are not loaded to the landing table. And
Hmm.
after that landing, we have to pull that data in a data mart.
Hmm.
So can you explain me what is that raw table, what is that trans landing and the um, data mart?
See, you have the mapping logic sheet, right? Mapping sheet, or
Yes.
in that it clearly mentioned. So see, landing it's nothing but it's kind of database only. The thing is, we should extract, like we are extracting the data that should be moved to landing first. See, like in that project I have told you, we have landing, sanitize, optimize. Like in each sheet they will be mentioned. We know in mapping sheet it will contain source information and target information. I will be moving the data from one place to another. Let's suppose I will be moving from source to landing. You should be check what is the transformation logic applied there, whether they want to be move it like straightly without applying any logic, or they want to be want us to apply some logics. So you need to be check that. Okay, once you have checked, once you have verified that, then you need to be check the data in landing. You need to be test, you need to be perform the validations in landing as well. Okay, so
Okay.
this data,
And what type of validation I have to check? Yeah, I have
you
to check
can
the
check,
data.
huh,
But
you
as
can,
like as a tester, what kind of validation we have to do?
okay, you can check count. Okay, and whether you are using any script, or manually you will be checking. How is it?
Manually.
Okay, if it is manually, then use the Excel to check manually. Take the source data, take the landing data, check it. Right? In Excel itself, in Excel as well, we can validate the data. You can check that, and how to check. Maybe it will take time. We'll cover that in later. And even
Okay.
you can check whether any duplication is there, and even you can check like transformation logic plays a major role, because if it is in a straight move, then it's fine. See here, mapping logic, everything is straight move. But in terms of sometimes you can see the complex transformation logic. They are asking us to remove leading and trailing comma, and they are want us to replace the value square bracket with blank, otherwise straight move, which means whenever we are receiving data as in a square bracket like this, that should be moved to the like that should move to the target with blank, which means nothing, nothing should be this should be replaced with blank. Okay, and apart from that, the square bracket, if any value is coming, then that should be more like that should be moved straightly without any changes. Okay, so like this
Oh,
transformation logic will be, you need to be check whether you have any transformation logic. If it is there, then we should write the query to validate the data. If it is in a straight view, you can use select star from the table name and you can validate the data. If you have any transformation logic, then you can write the query for that and check whether it's working as per the mapping sheet or not.
okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so coming back to the data mart. So it's a subset of data warehouse focused on a single subject area. Like without dumping all the data in one place, I will be keeping the data like the particular subject area to be in a one place. That place will be considered as a data mart. If you notice here, I can't store managers data to an HR data mart. That is kind of a bug. Okay, so HR related data should move to the HR data mart. Manager related data should move to the manager data mart if we are using the data warehouse. If you are straightly moving the data after applying the transformation logic, if you are moving the data to data mart, then fine. But if you are moving the data from the data warehouse to data mart, then we need to be validate like sometimes it could be a possible. So that we need to be validate, and data mart make specific data available to defined group of user, which allows those user to quickly access critical insight without wasting time searching through an entire data warehouse. So that's what, if we have data warehouse to data mart, in data warehouse, like if you want to be search for a particular like we want to be search any particular like requirement, instead of wasting the time to search in data warehouse, you can go to that particular data mart and we can search it quickly. So this is a kind of advantage in data mart. And examples, so another example, like we have, if you run the business, we have lots of department. We have finance department, we have sales department, and marketing department. So all this data will move to the data warehouse, and it will if we want to be if I want to be make one D sales department data to be in a separate data mart, because sales in sales we are getting lots of lots of data. Okay, that I want to be, instead of moving to data warehouse, I want to be make it separate data mart. And then I can see only sales related sales related data in the particular data mart. Okay, I can't see the finance data to be in data mart. So that we need to be, as a tester, we need to be validate whether all this data without duplicate, without junk data, we should properly move the data from source to data mart as per the transformation logic.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like mainly subset of data warehouse focused on a single subject area. And types of data mart, we have dependent data mart, we have independent data mart, and we have hybrid data mart. So in dependent data mart, if it is dependent on the data warehouse, we'll consider that as an a dependent data mart. Independent, if it is not dependent on the data warehouse, then it will consider as an independent. So in your case, you in your project, you have set your project flow. So that would becomes under independent data mart because it is not depending on the data warehouse, right? So straightly, once you have done the apply the transformation logic, you will be moving the data to an straightly to be data mart, right? So that is considered as an independent. If it is not dependent on the data warehouse, will be considered as an independent data mart. And hybrid data mart, so both sometimes will give extract will get the data from data warehouse or directly from the like once they apply from the like once we apply the transformation logic, that data will move to the data mart. So consider as a hybrid. So we'll take, so we have source and then transformations and then data warehouse and then data mart, or you can like source. So I have the data warehouse. Okay, so did I will be extracting the data, and finally I was moving the data to data warehouse from like this particular data mart or DM. We are getting the with what is the source for this DM? The data warehouse is the source for the data mart, right? So that's like kind of dependent. It is dependent the data from the data warehouse. So that's why it is considered as a dependent data mart. Okay, so another independent data mart, directly we have the source. From the source, I will be apply the transformations. Like if I have the staging, then we could have landing, sanitized, optimized, curated, and all. If we don't have, we just will apply that in one database, and then we'll moving the data to one and directly to data mart. Okay, so this consider as an independent data mart. Okay. So fine, next will be hybrid. So hybrid, if it is considered like in source, directly from the source or in data warehouse, okay, that will be considered as a hybrid model. Sorry, hybrid data mart. So sometimes we can export the data from the source directly or from the data warehouse. Okay, so that data will move to the data mart. Just give me 2 minutes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, got an emergency call.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So yeah, we can export the data from directly from the like source after the transformations and to the data mart, or we can export the data from the data warehouse. So consider this as a hybrid. Either we can get it from the data warehouse or from the source. So we have this three types of data mart. Again, depends upon the requirement. We need to be check what is the project flow, whether we have the data warehouse to data mart. And then like sometimes will not use the data mart directly. We'll do the load the transformation. We'll apply the transformation logic and will directly load the data to data warehouse, and we can't use the data mart. That as well, that could like that as well, one of the project flow. So that's what totally depends upon the project flow, or we could say ETL flow. Okay, so like giving the demo,
Okay.
giving the requirement call, they will mention the project flow things and all, right? So then, it's our job, ETL tester job. We should understand where exactly data were coming from, which source, and where it is going, and finally where it's loading. Okay, so yeah, any queries in data mart, dependent, independent, or a hybrid?
No, it's clear.
Yeah. So next topic will be differences between data warehouse and data mart. So, okay, so yeah, differences between data warehouse and data mart. Data warehouse we have seen, and data mart we have seen. Then what is the differences between? What are the differences between data warehouse and data mart? So in data warehouse, it's considered as an enterprise-wide data, but data mart department-wide data. So why enterprises? Because all this, that's what in data warehouse, usually all the data will be stored. Like you will be working for one project. Your source is different. Let's consider your source is Oracle team. From the Oracle database, you will be extracting the data to your database. Let's suppose you will be currently working for Snowflake. You will be extracting the data from Oracle team, and you will apply the transformation logic and moving the data to data warehouse. I will be working for one project, like similarly one client, but different projects. Like I will be working for one project, and that that is that source is SFG. From the SFG team, I will be extracting the files, maybe in a 5 to 10 files that we need to be validate. That should be moved to the database, Snowflake database, and to the Snowflake, we'll moving that data to data mart or data warehouse. So let's consider data warehouse. So what is happening in different data will moving the in one place, that's in a data warehouse. So in let's that consider as an enterprise wide data, like group like huge worldwide data, like huge data or all the data, you can see it in data warehouse. But in terms of data mart, it's kind of department wide data. That particular project data, like Oracle data, we are extracting, that Oracle that particular data, you can store it in data mart. We can see the department wise data in data mart. If it is storing all the data in one place, consider that as a data warehouse. This is the main difference. And one other, we know multiple subject or multiple data source will be moved to the data warehouse. But in terms of data mart, we could see only single source or single subject area. We could limited data source data will move to the data mart. So another difference is larger time to implement. Again, wherever you have on a large data, the implementations or processing time or speed as well will take huge long. But in terms of data mart, we know, like we are storing the department wise, we are not storing all the data. So if you are storing the department wise, then the data could compare small, like compared to data warehouse, the data will be small. So it's like will take shorter time to implement. Okay, so this is another differences between data warehouse and data mart. This is again important interview questions. Either they will ask what is data mart and what are the types of data mart, or they will directly ask, can you say the differences between data warehouse and data mart? So again, it's an important interview question. Yeah, any queries here?
No.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
one question. Sorry,
mm,
like for the data mart, the sources are only two, right? That is a source file or the data warehouse.
in data warehouse,
For the data mart, the sources are
uh,
data sources are only two, right? That is data warehouse or our that is the source files.
source prime. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah, any other queries?
No.
Okay. Okay, so next topic is multidimensional data model. So this is another topic. If you're already working, you might know this, or again depends upon the project. Sometimes, like anyway, we have the data modeler team. You will be extracting the data from the team, right? So before the like before we are extracting, we have separate team. That team will use this multidimensional data model, especially this facts and dimension things and all. Okay, so let's see what is a multidimensional data model. So multidimensional data model is used to store the data in the form of data cubes. So here as well, we are storing the data, and in terms of like we are storing the data in terms of like we are segregating that as in a facts and dimension. So dimensions, what is the what is facts and what is dimension? So dimensions or the numeric value to analyze the business, but dimension or the text attributes to analyze the data. So, like if we know we have structured data, we have semi-structured data, we have semi-structured and unstructured data. So in that, we have multiple columns. Some columns you can export the numeric value, or you can export the string, or an integer, or in a string, or in a like different data type we can like we can export the data. So if we are storing the numeric values, then that data will be considered as a fact, and dimension would be in a string or text attributes to analyze the data, so if you're storing the data in the numeric, that's what facts or the measurement or metrics, or facts from your business process. So like let's consider I have the sales. So in the sales table, I could say sales number. Sales number is one of the column. That column I could say that as a fact. Why? That is considered that sales number. It's that column will be like it's kind of measurement, right? So that column, like sales number column, will consider as a fact. And dimension will explain the who, what, and where of the fact. Let's suppose who's that, like this, we have considered sales number as a fact. So who's that number? So 10101 we have. Then who's that 101 number? If you question this, then we'll get like let's like example, Sam's sales number is 101. If I questions whose sales number is this, then 101, who's the number was 101, then I could say that as an Sam's number. Then what is the result it has given? It has given the string or a text value. So this will be considered as a dimension. So if you ask what is the sales number, or where that sales number is coming from, let's suppose it's coming from the this particular location is coming, that locations that giving the answer, that particular location. So that locations will be considered as an dimension. Why? Because it gives an like text attribute or an a string value. Okay. So yeah, in other words, dimension is window to view the information in the fact. If we have the fact, we'll create the dimensions. Okay, so it's like non-measurable. We can't measure any dimension value, but in terms of facts, we can measure that values. So that's what it's considered as facts will be considered as a numeric, dimension will be considered as in a string. Ex Example, we could take sales number things, and here we can take that sales number person, who's that sales number one or one, who's that person. Okay, and from the which location it's coming from, and what that product, what's that product, everything.
Yeah, here my question is like,
Hmm.
suppose there are some fact tables, and in a landing, I have all the data. Okay,
Hmm.
from landing to DMA, data mart, there are two tables, that is fact table and the dimension table. But
Hmm.
in a fact table, only those record are getting populated which having the numeric value,
Hmm.
right? Or the columns which having the numeric value, only those columns are populated to the fact table.
Hmm.
And for the dimensional, the columns which having a text or the string type value, only
Hmm.
those columns are populated to the dimension.
Correct.
Okay, okay, got it. And these two tables are comes under the data mart, or these are in come in a data warehouse as well.
Data warehouse as well, general terms, facts and dimensions. So that is in considered a separate topic. Not only for the data mart will use as facts and dimensions. Not like that. It's in general terms.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah. So yeah, like multi-dimensional data model, we have facts and dimension, and a very important topic, SCD, that comes under the types of dimension. Types of dimension, we have reusable, junk, SCD. So SCD it's called as a slowly changing dimension. So again, maybe if we have 10 project, in 10 projects, maybe very few project, maybe 2 to 3 projects, they want as to apply the SCD logics, that and all depends upon the business logics. So let's see what is SCD, and we have types of SCD. We have type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3, and type 4 and 6. Okay, so yeah. This SCD is considered as a slowly changing dimension. As the dimensions, it will store the current and history data. You will be moving the data to data warehouse. So sometimes they want us to apply the SCD type 0 or SCD type 1 or SCD type 2. Like that, they will ask us to apply the SCD logics, and then we'll move the data to data warehouse or data mart. Okay, so let's see what's that each type indicates. So, like if you ask me which type is very important, so type 2 is very important compared with other types. Secondly, they will like type 2 and sometimes type 3 or type 6. So type 2 you can expert 90%. Type 3 and 6, maybe they, if they are using, they will use type 2 or type 3 or type 6. This has been used, mostly used types. Okay, this is one point. And second point is like coming back to this type 0, type 1, each functionality is different. Each functionality. So the thing is, before loading the data, in the requirement, it will be clearly mentioned which type to be used. Whether we need to be used the SCD or not, that will be mentioned in the mapping sheet or in the requirement call. They will ask us to apply this SCD or if they don't taken this SCD concept, then fine. Then they want us to load the data to data warehouse without any modifications. Okay, so this we need to be noted down. And coming back, like each types. So first type is type 0, consider as a fixed method. So sometimes if they are saying us to use the SCD or not, like It's like type 0 is fixed method, nothing, no need to be change anything. You have some data. Let's consider we have the customer key and consumer key, user id, mobile number, annual income, location, and we have some values. We have the three values here. So this data will move to the target without any changes. It's considered as a fixed method and called as a type 0. So if you are like whether they are telling us to apply this cd or not, we do it like normally we're doing the same, right? We, if we have the transformation logic, we'll apply that and we'll move the data from source to target without any changes if it is in a straight move. So type 0, it's like very simple and it's considered as a fixed method. No need to change anything. Whatever you are extracting the data, just move it to target without any changing, without any changes. That is considered as a type 0. This is very simple. We'll come to the type 1. In this, you have any questions? Type 0.
No, no.
Yeah. So type 1, so sometimes they will not tell, they will tell type 2, type 3, type 6, or type 2, sorry, type 1 or type 4. They will not tell us to use the type 0 because like the usual process we are following the type 2, sorry, type 0. It's an a fixed method. If they are directly telling us to use the scd or not, we are indirectly using the type scd type 0. This is that is an a fixed method. Without touching the data, we're just moving the data from source to target. But coming to the type 1, that's considered as an overwriting the old value by new value or overwrite the existing data. Type 0 we have seen fixed method, but type 1 is overwriting the old value by new value. What that means? So consider with same example, we'll take, we have the table, consumer table. In consumer table, I have consumer key, user ID, original and mobile number, annual income, location, designations, like this, like columns I have. So in this, we have a few datas. Okay, so after run or after load, after moving whether like after loading the data to a data warehouse or data mart, will apply the type 1. What that means? So any changes coming from the source, let's suppose we have this 1001 person, that person is manager. Okay, so let's consider that person. Today it's 9/12/2023. He get promoted and from manager to senior manager. So what it will happen? So in the next day, you can see like after next run, you can see 1001 person as a senior manager. Other data like id, mobile number, income, location, you can see everything will be in a same, but you can see manager has been changed to senior manager. Okay, not only to this
Yes.
particular id. So whatever data wants to be changed, you can see the like after run, you can see the changes in the like in the target. You can see the changes. Let's suppose 1004 person is currently delivery manager. Consider he will promoted to COO position. So then that data has been overwritten. See, old value by new value. Old value is manager, right? We have customer table. We have this columns in the customer table. We have three values. But after run, we could see manager 1001 person ID is manager is a senior manager. What is happening? It has been overwritten the old value by new value. New value is the senior manager. Old value is the manager. It has just overwritten. Okay, that is considered as a type 1. Overwriting old value by new value. Okay, got it? Any query?
Okay. Yes, got it.
Okay. So next will be type 2. Or type 2 or like creating a new additional record or accommodate historical aspect of data. So some like if you are preparing for the interviews, they will ask sometimes what is SCD and what are the types available in SCD, and can you explain first two types, like that they will ask. Then we need to be explained what is type 0. It's a fixed method. Type 1 overwriting old value by new value, and type 2 like that. Sometimes they will ask last three types. So we need to be make sure what is that, like what is type 0, what is type 1, and what is type 2, all these type and how it is working. So we have learned type 0, it's fixed method, nothing to worry. In type 1, we just overwriting the old value to be in a new value. And coming to the type 2, it's like creating a new additional record. So what that means? So again, we'll take the customer table. Again, we'll take same examples like consumer key, ID, mobile number, income, location, designation. Here I have the start date, end date is current value. We'll come to that start date, end date is current. Just here, lots of things need to be applied. Okay, so here you can see in source data we have this 101, 103, sorry, 1001, 1003, 4, and 7. This is the data coming from the source, and we have the 4 records. Okay, we'll take same example. 1001 person, currently he's a manager. Okay, so he's getting promoted to senior manager. So this is sold and data. Just give me a minute. Okay, so maybe he will getting promoted to delivery manager. Okay, so what will happen is we should create a two record. Okay, so same this date. We should create a new additional record wherever data is getting changed, that we need to be keep as a separate record. You know, right? What is record?
Yes.
Records, rows will be considered as a record, and columns will be considered as a field. So what will happen for this 1001 person is getting promoted from manager to delivery manager? We need to be keep the separate record. We are creating a new additional record for that. So consider 1001 person as a manager. So this is the older data, and we are maintaining the additional record. We'll be maintaining the additional row, saying that this record is considered designation as a delivery manager. This is the old value and this is the new value. So let's suppose 1007 person is getting promoted from the testing person to test lead person. Okay, what is happening? So 1001 person designation was testing, and we should create an additional record because this designation has been changed to test lead. Okay, so this is one point. So first thing, it will create the additional record whenever the value is getting changed. Like which column, the what is that? Which column we can export the changes, that everything will be mentioned in the mapping sheet. You can export the changes in designation, or you can change the changes the values in mobile number. Okay, we'll need to be focused on that particular column. Okay, so this is one of important point in type 2. Another point is we need to be check the start date, end date is current. So what is the start date? Start date is when this record has been come to the database. Okay, when this record has been come. So let's consider this day. This record has been come on 13/3/2018. Okay, so end date should like always to be in a system state, system's default date. So if you're using the Snowflake, then use the ChatGPT or just Google it, system's default date for Snowflake, or system's default date timestamp in Snowflake. Like that you can check on. So end date always to be in a system's date, system's default date. So what that means, we are not predicating any end date. So we are just considering the system's default date to be an end date. Let's suppose 31/12/9999 will be end date for the Hive database. Okay, so this, which means we are not sure when this person will be get promoted to like will he when he will be get promoted, we are not sure. So we'll be maintaining the end date as a system's default date, just like 31/12/9999. So start date when the record has been come up, and end date should be initially it should be in a system's default date. Okay, so yeah, any queries in end date and start date?
No.
Okay. So coming back to the is current, or this will be considered as a flag value. So what that means? So we are maintaining the two values. One is yes or no, or that will be considered as a zeros and one. If it is current value is in a boolean data type. A boolean we have will be keeping only zeros and ones, right? Zero isn't like no, one for the yes. So either you will be keep as in a one or zero, or yes or no. So what that means? S indicates active record. Okay. So S indicates active record, which is considered as a current record. So that active record will keep as a Y, or you can if the data type is boolean, then we'll keep as a one. Either we can keep it in Y, or we can keep it as a one. So if it is mentioned as a boolean type, boolean data type, so then you can expect all the values to be filled with.
I'm Mashira, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Actually, we have another meeting at the same Zoom invite, so maybe you have to stop now.
Okay. Okay, okay, all right. We'll continue then
Okay.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
Bye.
You can stop the recording, okay, and then you can end the session.
Okay, yeah.